Hello my friends, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome back to TTBurger Remastered Game Reviews, Episode 1. Like I mentioned before, I'm redoing a lot of my older reviews here like I mentioned I would be, and welcome to the first episode as we're on Part 2 of 6. This is continuing my remastered review of the Ace Combat series, and those who missed what happened in Part 1 of 6, here's a TTBurger recap to show you all what you missed, as I took a look at Air Combat, also known as Ace Combat in Japan, and gave it a 7.5 out of 10 because the controls were stiff and the game felt pretty short and stuff like that, and there was just a couple problems with your wingman, not man stuff like that and stuff, and the way you turned, it felt like a frozen refrigeration truck and stuff like that when you turned. But for the most part though, it's a good game and it definitely shows what Ace Combat started off like and stuff, and what the PlayStation is capable of at launch, definitely. But now we're gonna zoom ahead to the year 1997 once again by Namco, as we're gonna be taking a look at the second game in the Ace Combat series. This is when they kept the title Ace Combat because Fire Punch was Aces, so that's why it was not called Air Combat 2 and stuff like that. And you know it was a sequel because of the little logo right here. That's how you knew it was a sequel to Air Combat. This was released on July 31st, 1997. This is Ace Combat 2 for the PlayStation. And I gotta say that Ace Combat 2 is an improved sequel and fixes most of the problems from its predecessor. They changed the title to Ace Combat, like I said before, so yeah, there's no point in getting into it. So it made sense why they call it Ace Combat instead of Air Combat. There are still some holdover problems from Air Combat, which we will get to later on here, but now let's get started here with just the nitty-gritty talking about the story. It's the same song and dance as before, take place in Strange Real once again, where once again military rebels have started another coup d'etat, and it's up to you to bring peace to Strange Real once more, and that's basically what the story is this time. It's like you don't really need to follow the first game's story to know what's going on because it's the same thing as before, but still it's not a problem because it doesn't need a story. It feels like an arcade style shooter, so it doesn't really need any of that stuff, is what I'm saying. Still a good story though overall. For the graphics, I gotta say the game's graphics have definitely improved over the first game. The aircraft models look very detailed and have different designs for each aircraft, and same with the level environment. Look very detailed and have a more improved draw distance as well. It doesn't look like it's all 3D polygon, it looks like it's detailed almost pre-rendered like with the backgrounds, definitely. The opening cutscene looks improved also, but the frame rate can hitch up at times, I noticed too. Like in the first game, I didn't really notice any frame rate issues because it was ran at smooth 30 frames per second. Here it does as well, but there are times after you shoot an enemy or shoot like a missile or like that or so, you can see the game slow down for some reason, and it is kind of a shame because the game looks great, but the frame rate does hitch up. It's not that often, but still it's noticeable. For sound, I gotta say, the sound, you got some great kick-ass rock tunes once again, and they definitely fit the flying game style for it, definitely. You have better voice acting this time. Even though there's not much voice acting stuff, it's still better than it was before. Your boss sounds better. You got the computer voice of by damage is better, and you got your teammates saying "Stay with them," "Damn, miss," and all that stuff. They sound better. For the gameplay has had a major improvement, but still has some minor flaws that do prevent it from being perfect. Like the previous game, your goal is simple: pick an aircraft, complete the mission by destroying targets and other enemies more and more. You once again have tons of aircraft like the F4, the F-14, the A-10, and more and more. You have the same number of aircraft scraps like in the last game, which is 16, but here's a little spoiler here. Once you beat the game, they give you an option to do the extra aircrafts, and you get different type of aircrafts that weren't in the regular new game mode and stuff there. I know I wasn't supposed to spoil it, but still, I just want to tell you guys that there got more aircrafts, but the plan from your playthrough, you get up to 16. And you hold more than 8 aircraft in your hangar, and then they did not go away after the crash. Here, all your aircraft are stored, and you don't have to worry about selling them or so to make room. Sure, you may have to sell some of them for extra money, so you won't be able to have enough to buy the aircraft or so, but still, it's not that big of a deal, and it's a big improvement. The missions are longer and more challenging. In the first game, these missions were way too short and ended quickly. Here, they fixed that because most missions will take up to 5 to 10 minutes to beat, and adding the fun factor to it. The controls are more responsive as well. They're not as stiff and sluggish like last time, especially when you turn, because it felt like a frozen refrigeration truck on an 18-wheeler and stuff, just taking forever to turn. Here, the turning is smoother. And one cool feature that they added there is you can actually have this feature to where like when you shoot down the target, it shows it pans to the target you just blew up and stuff, and you can still move around there and stuff. And that's really cool to have for sure. Although it can get you killed if you're not careful. Just be warned there is what I'm trying to say there. And Ace Combat 2 is definitely an improvement over the first game, but now we gotta talk about those bads I talked about. The game feels a little too easy at times, with 20 missions or so and stuff. Like it seems longer, but it still feels short, and it just feels a little too easy at times. And also, there's no multiplayer, not at all. Sure, I complained about the first game's multiplayer not being good, but here there's no multiplayer at all. I mean, it would have been nice for them to add like a co-op mode or so, or do something to add to like the multiplayer mode, but give us no multiplayer at all. But all in all, it's a better game for sure. That's the only complaints I have with it. So final thoughts are, if you were a fan of Ace Combat or Air Combat, whatever you want to call it, and you want some more action, Ace Combat 2 does not disappoint at all, because it's a fantastic sequel and definitely improves there, especially with superior enemy intelligence, like what the back of the CD case says. And of course, a lot of secrets to unlock too, so if you like games of secrets, this game has tons of secrets for you as well. Due to the small complaints I have with the game, I would give it a perfect 10, but some of these complaints I have to take off because they do kind of affect the game a little bit and stuff. But the score will be giving it 9.5 out of 10. Best score to give it because it's still a fantastic game overall, and it's definitely worth owning in your collection, definitely. And that's it for episode 1 of my remastered game reviews, part 2 of 6. Stay tuned for part 3. We're going to take a look at the final Ace Combat game on the PlayStation, Ace Combat 3 Electrosphere. Now, how does this game fare? Well, you'll have to find out, because I know that this is one that people have been wanting me to talk about because of how it was released and everything like that. But still, you'll find out in part 3, because there's lots to talk about with Ace Combat 3 Electrosphere. Which, all I gotta say, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the comment down below, and if you want to join my Discord group, TTBurger Games United, link in the description below. Pretty much all I gotta say. This is Tony. Peace out, have a good day, and see you all in part 3 of 6 on my Ace Combat Remastered series review. Thank you for watching, and take care, everyone.